Meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Real quickly, I would like to introduce the council as well as the audience to our newest employee here at City Hall, Sarah Vulcan. She will be taking over minutes and stuff at the meetings. Andrea's just here tonight to help her for the first time, and I assume report for the utilities. Very good. So welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
We're going to start off tonight with a public hearing for our floodplain ordinance.
7?
At 7:01.
Okay, we are required right now to have this public hearing to put an ordinance into place identifying floodplains in city limits. FEMA had recently taken new updated pictures and found that there's a very small area in town that is in the common floodplain. It's basically right here. That would be on West Street as you go out of town. So the very rear of some of those lots would be part of the floodplain. In order for residents or property owners to be available to have floodplain insurance, we need to have this ordinance in place, okay? It's encouraged not to build on a floodplain, but it's not prohibited, you just need a permit. So that's what this ordinance talks about. So we have to have this ordinance came to us from the DNR, and we need to have it to them by March 27th, and then they'll review everything and get it to FEMA, probably at the beginning of April. So that is tonight's public hearing. We will add it to our city code. It will be chapter number 154. Any questions?
Does the floodplain also include part of the golf course, the driving range?
Yeah, that is there.
Okay.
Any other questions on that?
Just need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Scott?
Does that include just new builds, or does that include the existing also?
It's new.
Just new?
Yep. And in our case, it would be everybody that's affected with this, because all these lots are empty right now, so just be a matter of when they build on the lots.
I motion that we adopt ordinance 2024-A.
Yeah. You want to close it?
Close the public hearing at 7:03. I will second Andy's motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion by Andy Alman, second by Andy Arnold. 5-0.
Too many Andys here.
Okay. Is there any changes or additions to the agenda?
I have none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Andy Alman, second by Sarah Johnson. I'm doing this for the new Sarah's sake.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Consent agenda.
Okay, in tonight's consent agenda, we have the minutes from February 12th, our last meeting, and then we have two sets of payables. Just going to point out a few payables that we did have in this last month. We did make the payment for the police vehicle that you ordered last council meeting. Then there's a couple street projects debt that we have in this packet tonight. There were various expenses for the election, presidential primary last week. And then our annual insurance premium to the league is also in this packet. Andrea, do you have anything else?
I was gonna note as well, the two previously expired for the brush truck for the fire department.
Okay.
Also for the public safety. That invoice was sent out, which you guys had approved last meeting, for a little over $18,000. We received our first part of the audit bill, that's half bill, that was almost $13,000. He already mentioned, for the 2016 street project, that in your pay estimate that you're gonna approve later on the agenda is also payable. And then the other thing I'm gonna point out is, to provision, which you approved as well as the body cam, that's it. Otherwise, everything else is routine in nature, unless there are any individual questions.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion by Andy Arnold, second by Andy Almond. Motion carries 5-0. Public forum. Anyone here wish to speak through public forum?
Yes, Austin is here tonight. He would like to address the council. Let me get this here, buddy. There we go.
So I'm basically just showing you guys what you guys helped pay for when I redid the shed out at the lake. So this is what it looked like before. It was pretty beat up. Cinder blocks there in the middle picture. That was bad. That was a lot of work to try to fix. And then we had an actual person for the blocks here. Yeah, actually came in and then redid those cinder blocks there. And then we took out, it's not in here, we took out a window that would have been probably about right here in this picture, that we filled in with cinder blocks. Okay, move to the next slide. So then, this was the little pictures of like what was going on during them. We had a lot of people come out and help. It took us 2 days to finish it, but probably 20-something hours. So, here's our masonry doing the cinder blocks. All the junk that was inside the shed, there was a lot of appliances and stuff that we took out and got rid of. We redid some wooding here, and then we were cutting tin and all that stuff. Okay. And then now this is what the shed looks like if you haven't been out there yet. So it's much improved. They said
You guys kind of, we went with the pavilion that was there with the color.
Yep.
And match it.
Yep.
Try and stay similar to that, what we had with the pavilion color.
So earth tone and stuff like that. So here, this is where the window was, it's gone now. And then, so basically, yeah, we added more here, the cinder blocks give more space so people can walk in and out without tripping. And then, yeah, we just made it look a lot better than what it was before. So now the inside's painted, and it's actually like cleaned out, and we took out a wall on the inside, so it feels open. So yeah, that's what that looks like.
Before you go to the next picture. Jim, here's what we're looking for.
Yep.
For dirt.
I see it now, I was
Yeah.
out there and I didn't observe
Yeah, it's
that.
full of leaves right now.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jim and my grandpa are gonna put dirt here, so it levels it up so that people don't trip over the cinder blocks and hurt themselves.
Apparently, Bordeaux have quite a pile out there, I'll talk to Bubba, and anytime you
Okay.
need some, just let me know, we'll bring it in with my skid loader and we'll finish the project.
Okay, yeah, they didn't have any when we asked for it, so.
If nothing else, I'll take it out of our woods. Sean will never miss it.
All right, you can go to the next one. So then this is a picture of, so this is day 1 and day 2, just a picture of the people that all helped out. These were the main people that helped me out with my project, and then a bunch of helpers, and, yeah.
Mostly scouts.
Yeah, most of it was scouts and younger people, with a couple family members in there. Yeah. It was cold the second day. First day was nice. Second day, what, probably 40 degrees, 50 degrees. Pretty cold. So, yeah. And then you wanna go to the next one? This is the big slide. I wanted to say thank you guys for paying for it and helping me finish it out there so that it was something off your plate and something off my plate to help me. And then I also have the key. I don't know if you guys want this.
Oh, sure. We would also like to say thank you for taking on the project and doing it for us.
Looks nice.
Looks very good.
I just had one other thing. There are some concrete pieces that we took up on the west side, that was a slab laying there. I didn't have enough room in my trailer, so they are just laying on under the pavilion, on the pad in the pavilion, if you guys can move that.
We'll get it taken
Get
care
rid
of.
of it or whatever. That's all that's left there.
Okay.
So, again, thank you, we really appreciate it.
Wonderful, we appreciate it too.
You guys supporting us and
Yeah.
housing.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else here to speak through public forum tonight? Public forum? Moving on, notice and communications.
I have none.
Council reports. Start with you, Double-A, you got anything?
Well, we had the interviews for PD, and obviously Sarah's here. Moving forward with that, we should be fully staffed here.
For the first time in a long time. Ivan?
All right, Park Road, we were forced to put in a new boiler here a month and a half ago. The one we had just plain wore out. They're blaming the water quality for it. They think we should... One company says we should use a glycol solution in the boiler lines, and the other one says, no, it'll corrode faster. So who do you believe? Had our audit done, that came out clean. Down to Park Road, or through the HRA, some of you have received a letter about training we may be taking, or it's mandated that we take this training for Davis-Bacon rules, which has to do with prevailing wages and how that is all figured out, all the timesheets and different jobs and their assignments. And this goes back 3 to 4 years probably on a job that was done, and the paperwork wasn't filled out correctly. And the staff down there has been trying to get it done, but they kind of keep bumping heads with the same people all the time, and they're asking for, our staff asked for training on how to fill out these forms. The people up to St. Paul didn't come out or wouldn't come out to do that. That was during COVID. There were days they wouldn't answer phone calls. Now the order has come from the big shot in Chicago saying you will do this training. So, it's mostly for the Park Road Board, but I know Andy and Clinton were also on the list. I don't know if the rest of you are or not. So, something we're dealing with down there. And it takes place in the rest of the city too. Setting up prevailing wages and keeping track of that. And when we do a street project, the company that we've contracted with takes care of all of that usually. So, EDA, working on getting something set up to get the businessmen to meet and like a Chamber of Commerce. On May 1st, we've got a date set up out at the golf course from 6 to 8 for a social, so that any of the businessmen could come out and mingle with one another and just network. The EDA is also working on childcare, and we want to check out to see that if we have an existing childcare provider in the community, are they eligible for EDA grants and funds? If they would need to put a fence in their backyard so that they can have their license, can we contribute to that? We're researching that. 101, the bit empty lot up on Main Street, we are at the point where we need to decide whether we're gonna get an engineer in there or not to look at those walls and decide how to repair them. We can't, or haven't been able to receive a second bid on that repair work without a description of the work that needs to be done. So, there may be an additional cost there we're trying to avoid.
We're communicating with the business owners on both sides, as well as the city attorney,
Yeah.
trying to come up with a resolution to satisfy everyone.
That's mostly where we're at, I guess, as far as EDA.
Jimmy?
Park Park Commission, committee met, and we went over some of the bids for the projects we want to do this spring, the basketball court at Northwoods, the pickleball courts out here. They came a little less than what we anticipated, so there may be a few more things that we are looking to do. We looked at projects for this year and maybe a little bit of discussion of how we want to proceed. Also then, can I introduce Paul? Would you like to share your information about, he came to our meeting, and I'd like to give the floor to him to describe what his ideas are.
Here.
Yep.
I just made these in case anybody could remember, or needed to remember something, and I was gonna put my phone number and email address on it, and I forgot, so if anybody wants to, if you feel you might need to get hold of me, I'll certainly give it to you, it's no secret, so. But yeah, I attended the park board meeting, the most recent one, to gauge interest on having a series of 5 monthly dates to have music, live music in the amphitheater, and then like a gathering, city gathering, family type of gathering, that kind of thing, including food trucks, possible other things, and I've kind of looked into it, have what I believe would be the budget. I should say this is city sponsored, and I'm not really a podium guy, so you gotta excuse me, but city sponsored, for lack of a better term, nonprofit kind of thing. The budget that I could see would strictly pay for the bands is $2,000. I have applied for a grant with Clinton Rogers' permission for the city. I got at it kind of late, so we won't know until the end of March if we get it. But that would cover the $2,000. It's through the Prairie Lakes Area Arts Council. I think it's in Waseca, I believe. That was the number anyway. And I've thought about this for a long time with that amphitheater. It would be the perfect time to do it, I think. My feeling is, I guess, that if we did it 1 year, set something a budget, I think going forward, I really believe it could be a self-sufficient thing if it goes well. My idea would be to check local businesses for sponsorships, that kind of thing also. Including, as you can see, I'll just read through it, possibly a pass-the-hat sort of thing at an event for the local food shelf to try and, help out the community a bit. I think pretty much everything else is kind of self-explanatory. Again, all transactions would go through the city. For instance, if, let's say we got the grant, or if we were to have a budget, or whatever the case may be, to pay the bands, the check would come from the city directly to the bands. And also in the same token, if I went to, say, a business and they said they would sponsor for $100, that check would be written to the city and put into whatever accounts the city deems to put that into. So, I've checked around a little bit, I've got all the bands, as a matter of fact, everybody's on social media and they see that the band that they see here is playing, some of them may have jumped the gun a little bit. I told them it was all tentative, so there's nothing set here for any of this. You'll see in the back, in case of inclement weather, there's different things, but overall, it's really more of a loose situation than I thought it would be. No contracts needed. You know, it's kind of a honor system. The bands want to come back to play again, and obviously we would like to treat them correctly and that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that was it. I put on there that play from 5:30 to 8. I'm thinking maybe 8:30. That's all kind of semantics, you know, things. Spoke to Officer Johnson. The two things I hadn't thought of that I wasn't sure about, if there would need more of a police, you know, an extra person, that would be an extra cost. And that's, if I understand, he didn't think so, but, you know, that's something. And then I don't know if the cost of electricity would be an issue or not.
Not an issue.
So those are the only two things, but otherwise, yeah, I've talked to Ryan up at Whistys, and I would also like to include as much of the businesses in the city as I could. For instance, I haven't talked to Kendrick Mark for Rude Awakenings, and I guess now Dairy Queen, as I understand it. There's the...
They do have a food truck now as well.
Yeah, and I talked to Ryan, just because I kind of know him and
Yep.
stuff, and he said he would do any of them that are available, or any of them that he could, but he also understood that we want to include everybody. So, you know, it's really kind of a community thing. I've just briefly discussed to a couple people if they'd be interested in sponsoring if this was to go through. Yeah, for the most part, I've had a very positive. People are fairly excited about doing something like this. So, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them now.
We appreciate you putting in the legwork on this, and it looks here like, might know by the end of March for the grant.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting to know, and if
Yeah.
grant doesn't come through, we can have it probably on the budget for our April meeting, or on the agenda for our April
Yeah.
meeting, to see if we can come up with the money if the grant don't come
Yeah,
through.
the one
I
thing
think it's a good
Oh,
idea.
I'm sorry. The one thing I would say, and I don't mean to, I'm not a pressure kind of guy,
Yep.
is I got started on this kind of late.
Yep.
So the sooner I could find out, the better, just so I can, for sure, let people know and get everything locked in.
We
So-
can't really put it through if it's not on the agenda, can we, as far as doing it tonight, or can we?
I think the reason, I'll interrupt here, the reason that I asked Paul, or we asked Paul to come here, we need authority from the council
Yep.
for the park board to move forward with this. It'll be a park board project, and we simply need approval from the council. That's what we're looking for tonight, for the park board to move forward. This isn't a council project, it's a park board project, and I know it is a late time. However, we're just looking for authority to move forward, because I think we have it, but I'd rather have it on the minutes that the city council is backing this. I believe the park board has the authority to have entertainment in the park because it's a park, and because that's our venue of operation. However, wanted to make sure that we got authority from our ruling group.
And again, I don't mean to, you know, say, oh, I have to know tomorrow, or
Well,
that's not the point, I'm just...
Can we legally motion on it right now, or not?
Well, the park board meets on April 1st,
Yeah.
so I can spend this money without your
Yeah,
blessing.
it's a small enough amount that we don't really need approval anyway, so.
Okay.
But if you received, $2,000 worth of sponsorships?
I have not, actually, I haven't done anything, because...
Right, but I mean, if you,
Yeah, well, just thinking ahead.
Sure.
Maybe we should go from here, and I don't want to take a lot of time here, but, I can see this being a yearly thing. And again, we don't know but I think it would really go well. I know other towns have done, a couple that I know of have done it, and it's gone pretty well. So if we were to say get a grant or a budget or whatever the case may be, and then I was to get businesses, and I think I probably could. You know, I'm thinking if everybody was to be interested in, say, sponsoring for $100 with their, you know, establishment advertised somehow at the venue, that kind of thing. Anyway, you know, that would be $2,000. Just thinking ahead, if we were to get the grant or whatever the case may be, then that money could be set aside in whatever account the city uses to set that kind of things aside. And then we could use it next year and, you know, kind of let it grow a bit throughout the years. So, again, thinking ahead, you know, long-term planning, I'm not great at, but...
And talking about money, the bids came in lower. The park board has some additional, money that isn't committed at this point. If we don't have it anywhere else, I think the park board can come up with their budget. Because like you say, the park equipment and the things we're installing came in under budget. So, but I need to know, or we need to know when we go back to the park board, whether the council will be behind this or whether we're out of line moving forward with this.
I have another question that's not related to the financing of it really, and that is liability or insurance.
Fall on the city, it's city.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
In the city facility, it's sponsored by the city. I made the assumption that we would be under city
Yep.
jurisdiction
We are.
and insurance.
Yep.
Wouldn't be any different than
Yeah, but
holiday
it's over the
train or...
plan. No, it's the same thing. If you decide to reach out to some businesses for sponsors and get some, you can let me know. We have a ton of banners for pretty much every business in Janesville for Hay Days.
Oh, that would be great.
You could use the banners rather than reprint new banners.
I was trying to, in my mind, trying to figure out how I was gonna do that.
The majority of the businesses in town already have a banner that's
Okay.
just sitting in our
Oh, that'd
storage
be
shed,
great.
so
Okay.
you can certainly
Yeah.
use our banners.
I guess I'll ask one more question then quick, is for promotion, I'm just thinking of social media and that kind of thing. Is the city website, is it the city of Janesville, or Facebook page?
Yep, come in and talk to the girls, that can help
Okay,
you.
all right, I mean, that would be a start, and that's the one thing, promotion is not my thing, so if anyone knows anybody who does that kind of thing, please.
And get it floating around on Facebook pretty easily, so.
Yeah, I'm not, that's not really my thing, so, but, all right. Yeah, and, you know, I'll learn more too. I will say just, one more quick thing. The only other expense I can think of that, would come out of any sponsorship is, my wife and I were talking that perhaps the city council would like to come and dish out root beer floats some evening. So, which, the ice cream and everything would be paid for, it would just be you know, city council and their families would be interested in doing that so, and then donating it, of course, to the food shelf, so. Anyway, something to think about. Thank you. If you got any questions, yeah, you can ask me. I'm sure you got my phone number somewhere or my email address or both or something, so.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So then the park board, I
The council's
make an
behind you.
assumption we will move forward with it.
Yep.
And bring back a report next meeting as to where we're going with it, what we're doing, and we can be on the agenda. Okay, it's basically in the
Yeah, it's-
investigation right now.
It's pretty simple.
Yep, I thought so too. Thanks.
Sorry to interrupt, I'm sorry. So can I give the okay to the musicians?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
Yep.
Thank you. And I'll be coming to the fire board meeting, I don't think I'll be there in person. I'll be gone.
That's right, we've got things started, and just keep us updated, and we'll
Yeah,
move
we'll
forward
come
with
back with
it.
updates and stuff, so that everybody knows what's going on in the sponsorships.
Thanks, Paul, great event.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Thank you. Sarah, do you have any under council reports?
They made some sort of contract for the nursing home employees, kind of like, they can have, each employee can have 5 visits down to the visits for $25.
Really?
Yep. And he was gonna maybe approach the city and talk to you guys about doing that for employees as well.
And the mayor and council?
Yep, I'll get it for being on the
There you go.
down there, but, yeah. So,
Okay.
we offered it because they pay quite a large deductible for their insurance down there, so just to help the employees and the benefits.
Well, that is nice. The EDA did approve a loan for him, and I suppose this is his way of giving back, and that's very nice.
One final thing, Andy, just a by the by, to try to get it in the paper, the community gardens have been tilled. Anybody who is renting one can plant at any time coming forward. I just wanted to let Andrea know that it's being an early and warm, early spring, if we could put it in the paper that the gardens are ready, and anybody who has one rented can go out and do it. I just tilled them today, and they worked out really well. So carrots, carrots, radishes, lettuce, anyway. Thank you.
Okay. Administrator report.
All right, let me get that up. Yeah, the reconciliation from February, this microphone's really loud tonight. February reconciliation from the bank. Cash balance report dated last Friday. You have the golf course yearly comparisons, that report in there. Mayor Andy did this earlier, but we welcome Sarah. It's her first day here, so I wanted to point that out. I think she plans on coming back tomorrow, so that's all good. We sat down with department heads here last week. We are gonna begin to update our long-term plan. It originally was created in 2019 and is expiring about now, so we're gonna put our vehicle, equipment, and building needs list together and update that plan for you so we can use for the budgets coming up. Safe routes to school, we met with the contractors last Thursday. They plan to begin some work soon, and then they're gonna really get into it when school is out, as far as doing the work around the school and things like that. The plan calls for the completion date at the end of August, but the contractor's thinking if everything goes well, he might be done by the end of July. So that's good. Music at the amphitheater, Paul was just here to discuss that. I will be on vacation March 17th to 27th. And last but not least, you have the mailing from the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities. Any questions?
Motion to approve the administrative report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion by Andy Alman, second by Sarah Johnson. Motion carries 5-0. I'm, for one, am excited to see what the golf course is up to on the 1st of March, so let's have it.
Let's have it, he says.
So we'll start out with our membership drive that we had on our Christmas, the week before Christmas, like we always do. Had a great turnout again. I think our numbers were just subtly better than they were last year, so we still had the best membership drive that we've had, which was exciting. And then, obviously, we've had our early start, which has been great. I mean, I don't think anybody was prepared to be, playing golf at the end of February. And I know Jim has been out there and taking advantage of it. So that's been incredible. We have got a couple new tournaments that we've already lined up that we haven't had in the past. If you've been out on the course, or we've been talking about some projects that we've been wanting to get started, and with this weather, we've got started on those new projects. Our new mower came in today, which was great to see. Yeah, a lot of good things going on. Is there anything in particular that anybody want to ask a question on, or?
Utility cart looks nice.
What's that?
New utility
Yeah.
cart looks nice.
Yeah. So that was one that we got last year for the sprayer. Yeah, that's good. Did you see the new mower today?
No, I didn't
Must
see
have
it
just-
today, yeah.
Must have came in like right after you snuck out of there, but.
Mornings are doing it too long.
Yeah, boys, we're number 2 south is just kind of in an area where there's some trees and some houses, and it just wasn't getting a lot of air, and it wasn't getting a lot of sun, so it would get beat up. So that one just made it a little bit wider. And then number 6 was, when we built that one, it just was built where it was very unlevel. So that was one that we've been, for years, been wanting to get leveled off. As long as they're out doing that, they took care of that. And then number 8 north, we never had when the course was originally built, it just had blue tees and it just had red tees. And so we, back in 2001, we built some white tees, And then, like in 2005, we started trying to do some senior tees to get, for the 65 and over gentlemen. And that particular par 3 never had a tee for the senior tees, so there's one that they wanted to make for years, and that one's, they're working on that tee as well. So those are the 3 tees that they're working on right now. And yeah, they've just about got them all shaped out, and that's earlier than we were expecting them to be able to get out there, so that's been great. Is there any specific question anybody has on a golf course topic, or?
When does league begin?
League is the 23rd this year, so everybody's talking about that already. It feels like we've been out there playing, like it's coming up really soon. It's still the 3rd week in April, and that's the normal start time that we have. It's kind of weird that even once in a while, that first week of league, about every 4th year, we've had to cancel because of weather. So it's hard to believe that. That's like 6 weeks out, and we've had to cancel because of weather before, and it's 70 degrees today. And it was just, I left right at 7 o'clock. There were still people bringing carts in, and I got to go right back there right now to finish. But yeah, it's nuts, so.
As long as we're talking about all this entertainment, is the golf course planning on doing any events out there like they did last year?
Yep, we got 3 events already scheduled. We've already got food trucks for those events. We've already got bands for those events. All 3 of those events have already got a food truck and a band lined up.
Are they a Friday night event again out there, or what are we?
Yes, the Friday, Saturday.
They've been Friday, last year they
Yeah,
were
that's right,
Fridays,
yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Getting them locked in. So right now, we've kind of been open like hit and miss. So like, we'll still have to shut down a few days for some cold weather.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's still been wonderful. Tomorrow and Wednesday, our tee seats are full. Then we'll have to shut down for a little bit again, but our typical starting day is around April 1st. So, I mean, we've already snuck in a lot of days before that, and I'm assuming we'll still get going, finally open for the year before then again, so, yeah.
Okay.
Jacob?
I really don't have much to add.
Okay.
You got something for me?
Thank you, guys.
You bet.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Andrea, do you want to report on the utilities?
I don't have a whole lot from the last time I was here. Tonight at the commission meeting, we finally received the Excel agreement for Pearson Acres redevelopment down there, those 12 lots from Excel. And the commission chose to move forward. Commission, like past projects, will cover the expense of that development. And we're going to pay for it all up front with the development costs along with the materials. So now I will send that back off to Excel, and then they'll have to submit that to the PUC. So it'll be a couple more months before everything's final, but at least we're making progress on that. We have a couple other projects that we're still working on this year at the power plant. AMI, we're still working on getting the customer portal for all the residents to use, looking to have that ready to go later this year. Is there anything you guys have for me? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Old business, number 1, pay estimate number 9, and change order number 1 on the Allen Street project.
Yes, you have pay estimate number 9, which is our last pay estimate for the Allen Street project, along with change order number 1, which was some necessary work that was needed to connect some sanitary sewer services to various properties. The change order and everything is in tonight's invoice. It's $136,616.
And this is the very final then for this project?
Yep.
I'm assuming Joe's gone over all the punch list items and
Yeah, they did. I was not in town that day, but they did. Yep.
he's fine with everything, how it's currently looking, I should say.
What about the fact that there's no grass there?
Yeah, that is a concern.
What options do we have, or what, we hold no leverage if we pay this all out,
Mm-hmm.
as far as getting them to take care of any of it,
Well, there is warranty work that would go through this summer.
okay? So would your recommendation be to pay this and get the warranty work done, or what would be your recommendation, Clint?
Well, I would recommend that we get an answer of what's gonna happen with the grass, so maybe you don't wanna do this tonight. It's entirely up to you.
So I know there's some concerns about the Allen Street folks. I do have a couple of houses on Allen Street, that don't look the greatest.
Yeah, if it isn't done, it isn't done.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, and that's it's a neither or thing. You're done, we pay you, or you're not done, we don't pay you. It's a pretty simple decision on my part.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that they weren't, so
It isn't the best.
I would say let's hold off and hold their feet to the fire.
I agree.
Make a motion to not pay.
No second.
Okay, all in favor of tabling this for the time being?
Aye.
Motion by Sarah Johnson, second by Andy Alman, 5-0. New business, number 1, we have a variance request at 535 Oakwood Drive.
Yes, Randy Palm, resident at 535 Oakwood, is here tonight. We had a planning commission meeting last week, and Randy is requesting a variance so he can place, if you can see on the screen there, he would like to place a new garage towards the rear of his property. He can't put it, install it anywhere closer to the house because the backyard has a pretty big slope, and he won't be able to put it there. So he addressed this with the city council, he addressed this with the planning commission last Wednesday. The planning commission does recommend approval of the variance, and I'm also gonna point out that neither myself nor staff received any comments after we sent out the public hearing notice, and also during the public hearing at the planning commission meeting last week, no one was present. Randy, you've been patient for 43 minutes, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
No, had a builder over today, and he thinks everything's good back there, it's just a matter of approval.
Good.
Randy met all the criteria, he filled in all the boxes, he did the right things. I move we grant this.
Second. Oops, sorry.
I do have a question for Randy. How are you gonna access that? There's no street on the backside?
It's just for the store of boat and then lawn equipment, it's not to drive across
Okay.
my yard.
And this is that townhome that we merged property with the neighbor last year?
Got that one,
Same
yep.
one.
Yeah, okay,
I'll be coming across my own property
okay.
to get to it.
It's just, on the map, it looks like there's no side yard there at all.
Well, there's more than it looks like, there's an easement there by the county, that goes by the city, that goes in between two houses.
Right.
Right there, actually, my property line isn't that close to my house, I don't think that's exactly accurate.
There's a shadow there too, so it's kinda...
Yeah, you're seeing the shadow off the roof.
Yeah.
Plenty of room for me to drive on.
Okay.
We have a motion by Jim, we have a second by Andy. All in favor of resolution 2024-11? Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Randy.
New business number 2.
Yeah.
Body cameras.
The body cameras did arrive last week, was it the week before? Last week. And one of the requirements, before we use the body cam, is that we have to put out a public notice that the city council is going to offer, like an open comment period, if any resident would like to ask questions or state their mind about the body cameras, they have that opportunity to do that tonight. So Mayor, Andy, I may just, you wanna ask 3 times for
Yep.
public comment?
Any public comment on this? Public comment on the body cams? Public comment? Moving on.
Steve, do you have anything to add?
No, it seems to be, cost effective, and the only portion that is still to be determined is what the redaction cost would be, and I think that, for statute, we're able to carry those costs onto the people that are requesting.
3 questions on use. First of all, what initiates the activation of the camera? Okay. Secondly, how long do you keep the downloaded images?
There's varying amounts, there's some that are 30 days, some that are 90 days, there's 1 year, 3 years, 5 years.
Depends on the incident?
Yep,
Okay.
some is indefinite.
And third, then, who has access, or does it have to come through an official request to view your, I don't want this just open to anybody who walks in? Is there a criteria and a formula for how to access these images?
Yes.
Good question.
It would come as a request, formal request. There are 2 people in the department that will have access.
And so it comes through you and then, and whoever recorded it, correct?
Myself and Sergeant Van. Once
Right.
it's downloaded or uploaded into the computer system,
Right.
the officer that is involved with that would have to go through the process to view it.
Right.
It's not something that all the officers are gonna have access to.
Good, you answered my question, thank you.
Them were some pretty technical questions for a guy that can't even write
Well,
an email.
I wrote them down, you know, I can't think that fast, you kidding me?
All right.
I was pretty
Thank you,
impressed.
Andrew.
Yeah, I don't know. New business number 3, temporary liquor license for St. Anne's.
Yeah, St. Anne's is applying for a temporary liquor license. They have a fundraiser coming up on March 23rd. Actually, it's a comedy show, and that's why I start every meeting with a joke, because I'm the featured performer.
I hope not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that might
It won't be a fundraiser.
Apparently, they're not gonna make any money.
Yeah, right. So anyway, looking for approval of the temporary.
I move it to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion by Jim, second by Andy. Motion carries 5-0. New business number 5, donation to Prairie Ridge, which is resolution 2024-12.
Number 4.
You got 4 personnel.
Oh, yeah. Personnel policy amendment. Clinton?
Yeah, as you recall, we adopted the personnel policies effective January 1st of this year. There's little confusing language in the policy regarding on-call pay, and when a person is on call, when they get called back to work, that's called callback. And we are clarifying the language in the policy now that states that if you are on call and you get called back for the hours that you were called back, you get paid the callback rate, not in addition to the on-call pay, because you can't really pyramid and add to hours worked. So we fixed up that language in the personnel policy. I would look for a motion to make those changes, and then when we're done with that, I have another topic I want to talk to you about, the second item.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the changes to, on-call hours.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion by Ivan Moss, second by Andy Arnold. Motion carries 5-0. Clinton had second to add.
Yes, when we put this policy in place, we obviously had this new earned sick and safe time legislation that came through last summer. We used recommendations to place in our policy the language of when ESST pay goes into effect. And one of them was for volunteer firefighters, where they would be able to use this for if they missed a call, like a 911 call, or a meeting, or a training, or a special event. That's the information that we had in January. Since then, the Department of Labor and Industry have changed their interpretation of that, saying that firefighters cannot get paid, or ambulance volunteers cannot use this earned sick and safe time by responding to a call. They can only use it for if they miss a monthly meeting, training, or a special event. So my question to you, should we remove that from the personnel policy? Or do we keep it in there still as a, added benefit?
What is the rationale for disallowing it? Did they have an argument, or did they just make a ruling?
I believe the interpretation is because they're not actually hours worked. We don't know when the fire department member is going to respond to a call. And I think that is what Department of Labor clarified that.
And we are on legal grounds, and we have solid ground if we decide to use it for this.
If we decide to change it, that's fine. Or if you decide to keep it as is, you're just giving an additional benefit.
Yeah, and either way, we are on...
But we're encouraging them to miss a meeting, more or less.
Question for you, the fire chief is not here this week. Should we wait till the next council meeting to discuss it?
Yeah, I think we gotta have a little bit more on this.
Okay.
Is there a way we can give it, it's something, we gotta do something a little bit differently with this.
Yep.
I don't wanna take it away from them, but I don't wanna encourage them to have to miss a meeting to use it. That isn't right. But I also don't wanna take it away from them, so I think we need a little more on this.
Sure.
So we're just basically taking out being able to use it for a emergency call?
Yeah, for responding to a call.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like more input.
Yep.
Well, because we don't get compensated for any scheduled events. So it would only be...
for a meeting.
Only be...
A meeting or training.
Meeting or training.
We have to make so many meetings here anyway, so.
Yeah. When Mike gets back, we'll see if we can come up with a creative idea on how to fix this problem. Okay. Do you have anything else on the personnel policy, Clinton?
No, I'm good.
Okay, now will we go to a donation for the golf course?
Yes, the Golf Association donated just about $116 to replace some seat covers in some of the carts. So we will take that payment and use it for that expense.
Move to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion by Jim, second by Andy, motion carries 5-0. We have two more donations for the police and fire, which is motion 2024-13.
Yeah, I don't know the exact date, but last fall sometime, I believe it was, there was a 911 call that went out. The police and fire responded, helped the patient. They were very, very grateful and very thankful for the good work done, so they have donated $50 to the police department, $50 to the fire department.
Well, I would move that we accept their donations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you sent. There will be sent, thank you sent for the donation. Please.
Could.
Chief, and we'll talk to Santa. There you go.
I think that'd be appropriate.
Yep.
Thank you. Could we also have a thank you sent to young Sarda? An official thank you from the council for his work?
Sure. We can do that.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
David's in trouble, doesn't want to go home. At 7:55. Motion by Andy, second by Jim. Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Jim.
And away we go.